Good morning, 16th of April 2014. Welcome in our live trading room. Busy night, busy Tokyo session. But before we start, let's have a quick risk warning. Our live trading room has educational purpose only. Trading FX on margin carries a high level of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. You can sustain a loss of some or all, or even more than your initial investment. Please do not invest the money that you cannot afford to lose. One more time, welcome. Chinese numbers. New Zealand inflation behind, and ahead of us we have European CPI today. We have unemployment rate from UK. It's quite busy morning. Then we have Canadian rate decision, industrial production, housing start, building permits from US, some Fed speakers, Yellen, Fisher, Beige book. So quite busy day. Let's see what's going to happen. Strong sell-off on the beginning of the US session yesterday. Then late rally. Two orders. We had two orders yesterday. And both of them were open. I mean, one is still open, Euro British Pound, and British Pound Yen has been stopped out, and it depends. The truth is that it depends if you cancel it straight after the US session or no. I left the order until the full end of the day, and it was triggered, and during the Tokyo session order has been stopped out. And also Euro JPY. In this case, it works nicely, right? We have very tight stop, and loss from the British Pound Yen is already covered, but we are targeting the gap here on Euro British Pound, okay? So we are targeting around 82.90. Depends where we are going to be before the inflation data from US. It's possible that I'm going to close the position before the number, before the announcement. Okay, let's try to check what we can do. Let's try to build the plan. It could be quite nice day, and I had yesterday I had two trainings, and life is brutal. During the first one, we took small short QE, and we've been stopped out. Most probably our stop was slightly too tight, then weaker inflation number, and QE hit our level around 86. So yeah, unfortunately that was brutal. But then I had another one. Another one training, and we took long Aussie yen based on this support demand zone. Right, so there was a strong move above the previous resistance. Here was demand zone. There was also very nice setup in Aussie dollar yesterday. Okay, let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay. That's the zone. And yes, during one training we were talking about the middle of the zone, so there was quite nice setup to go long. But be careful, guys. Be careful. I would say that we can expect one more dip. It's possible. Towards 92.80. I'm expecting that we are going to test this area. I'm going to watch 94 again. Of course, it could be bullish flag above 94, right? So if someone's, I'm not long. If someone is long from here, then around 94, I would definitely take partial profits here, right? With some and for the remaining 50% or less, I would trail my stop higher, right? But I'm going to watch what's happened around this level. We also have potential supply zone. Okay, so the whole area of support here was broken here. So yeah, that's the supply area, which could within the next few hours is going to correspond with this channel, right? So be careful, guys, with longs. Of course, if you are going higher, pull back long as a potential bullish flag. Okay. Now, what's going on with Japanese crosses? As I wrote yesterday, still there for me, but looks like we will try to go higher today, but it could be the same like yesterday, right? The false break to the downside. As I wrote yesterday, still buy low, sell high. Buying low yesterday was quite easy, but what about selling high? Where is the high? Okay, so let's switch dollar yen. Let's start with dollar yen and let's see. There was a 1, 2, 3, 4, around 5 attempts to go lower, right? And simply bulls were able to hold that level, so now shorts covering their position, bears covering their positions. Now as I mentioned in one of the comments, what I would like to see was pushing down toward 180, some kind of the false breakout, then would be great long. Now we are approaching daily 20 and 102.50, 102.70 was previous support, and it's still visible level, right? So 102.50, 102.70, I would watch what's going on. And that's I would say that's the range, right? Now, so 102.50, 102.70 on dollar yen. Let's take a look closer. Okay. What we can do here. One moment. Let me take a look. So we start here. We start here and it was like, yes, and we took out this resistance. Okay, so there was some demand around 102.20 to, let's say, 102.40. Okay. There was no supply, no supply, no supply, and supply is higher. First supply is around this level, is when we took out the support. It was one way down ticket. So around 103. So slightly higher than 102.50, 102.70. So I would be very careful. The 102.50, 102.70 is a visible resistance, but the real supply is slightly higher, right? So intraday opportunity is higher. What about buying? Okay. What about buying? So here was a resistance which was taken out during the Tokyo session, and we start from here. And actually we start from here. So here is some Riley consolidation continuation. So something around 101.80 and again 101.60 as demand levels, intraday demand levels, okay? Euro JPY. The number at 9 GMT, the CPI, is going to be very important because most probably if we are going to see better, higher number, then euro can jump higher, and of course lower than expected, we could see strong sell-off on euro dollar. We'll go through euro dollar within few minutes. Let's take a look on euro JPY. So we do have some visible resistance around 141.55.70. And as we took out support and this demand zone from here, some selling zone is around 141.80, right? This zone here. So I'm going to watch, from the selling perspective, I'm going to watch something like 140, 168 to 89, this area. And of course yesterday low as demand zone. Okay, the last one, let's take a look on Aussie yen. Let's take a look on Aussie yen. And actually 20 daily holds on hourly, as I showed you before, there was a nice support on hourly, so that was the reason we took small long during one of my training yesterday. Let's start from the left side. It was the last demand we pushed higher, right? Then we sold off through the demand zone. It's daily chart, guys. It's daily chart. So I would say that around 102, sorry, 140, yeah, is the main supply. But there is a one more level. As we took out the support here, let me make it bigger. Let me make it bigger. Yes, okay. So that was demand. First attempt, bounce from the demand zone, right? Sell off. Here we were below. Bounce back towards the broken area. So I would say we have the supply around, as we have those line around 96.60, 97.40 on a daily. Okay. So this area here could be supply as well. But still, we've got like 80 pips toward this area. So let's take a look on hourly. Let's see. Why line like this? Not through here, because there was a one, first, second. So it was possible on the beginning, right? When we haven't seen right side, it was possible first to draw this line thanks to those 2 points, right? So let me show you. Let's say, let's cancel this one and this one as well. Let's say we are here. So we have some swing high, right? We took out the first visible support. Okay. Then bounce going lower. Okay. I lost, yeah, okay, it's here. So we were able, thanks to those 2 points, we were able to create this line, and we didn't know what's going to happen, right? Then we had the false break. So based on this line, we were able to eventually predict where could be the upside of this false break. Where is the potential target, right? So based on this, using only swing high, we were able to create some kind of the channel, right? So even like this, so based on this false break, bulls were able to predict where is potential top side on this hourly chart based on this lower line, right? And then bam, and down, and so we created some kind of the channel. We were trying to sell Aussie, as you remember, but we missed here by few pips the selling opportunity. And as we already had like one, we can take those two as a 1, or we can take it as 2, 3. 4 is a 5th. So I would be very careful, guys, right now, because even if it's a, one more time, 1, those 2 we can calculate as a 1 point, or we can calculate as 2 points. Four, and it's a 5th approach. I would be very careful here. What I would like to see, guys, I would be very careful with selling here. Okay, because even if the line creates supply, so it's another attempt, right? So even if the guys moving down the orders as the line, so the orders, few orders were executed already. Now, one of the techniques saying is saying that that's why I would like to see what's going to happen within the next hour, because here we had like approach and strong rejection, right? Here we've tried 3 times shadows and strong sell-off. Now we have rejection right now. Let's see where we are going to finish at the end of the hour, because one of the techniques is saying move towards resistance. Okay, and this one was strong approach, right? Even last 3 hours there was the strong move toward the resistance. Now I would say this hour is going to be quite important, because if we are going to see some demand within the next 30 minutes and we are going to close around here, it could be like moving toward the resistance, small profit taking, and the continuation, creating the bullish flag on Aussie yen. So let's see what's going, because if we are going to close somewhere here, it could be slightly different story. But it looks interesting. I mean, the rejection as of now is not that strong like here. It's not that strong like here, here, or here. As of now, I don't know what's going to happen within the next 30 minutes. But it looks very interesting, and it could be one of the trades I'm going to decide to take as a breakout. You know that I don't like to take the breakout. If there is a breakout, I would like to see some kind of the pullback, some hesitation, fighting, and continuation. But it's possible here that I'm going to decide. Depends what's going to happen at the end of the hour, right at the top of the hour. But it's possible that I'm going to decide to take immediately trade with the small stop, and this 96.40 as a target. Okay, so let's see what's going to happen at the top of the hour. So from all these yen crosses, Aussie yen from the long perspective, for me, looks very good. Now, pound Aussie. We were discussing yesterday during one of my training, and it's idea of our student. Actually, it was idea, if I remember correctly, to look at the top of this channel. We didn't do anything because of the breakout, and it's a similar situation as we have with Aussie yen, right? Every time we had nice rejection, but yesterday we moved straight, and even without the pullback under the resistance, we moved straight to the upside, right? And we found the sellers at the visible static resistance, right? Because this type of the line is a dynamic, and this type of the line is a static resistance or support. Okay. That's early. Let's start with daily or even weekly. We took out the resistance here. So on weekly, and we moved above the resistance from here. So on weekly we have some demand, yeah, around 170 or even below, but that's weekly. And where do we have some selling eventually on weekly? Some selling possibility, some supply zone. Around 20 weekly moving average Okay, so around 79 or even 80. But that's weekly, okay? And we are below the 20, so there is still possibility to go slightly lower. Daily. Again, 20 daily moving average. And if that was some demand, so was taken out, okay? So means that around this area, around the 20 daily moving average, we should see some supply coming in. Hourly, pound looks stronger, so guys, I would move the stop. Sorry about that, I'm looking at the pound. I would move euro British pound, I would move stop to the entry level, right? So just let me make a note. Just 1 second, please. Okay. So, let's try to create, let's cancel the line on the British pound Aussie. So even if there was a, let's try to see if we can see any channel. Yeah, more or less. So it's quite wide. So if we would like to double it, so looks like 80.25 could be some area of resistance. Okay. Broke out, pull back, and looks like we want to continue to the upside on the British pound Aussie. Okay. Now, watching Aussie yen, so it's a bigger, it's going to be bigger right now, the rejection. So let's watch this Aussie yen. Now, euro dollar. It's a daily. Let's change to green. Okay. I would say that it's all about inflation data today. Now we are testing the resistance, yesterday high. And we have some supply zone on hourly. But as I mentioned, I wouldn't use the whole area. Okay, that's the whole area. But as I explained yesterday, we hold support. So from here again towards support, the risk reward is very bad. So what I would like to see is to narrow this area to, let's say, 38.52, 38.63, and watch that level. Okay, because from the very beginning at 38.38, it's so close to the target, around 38. It's just 35 to 40 pips, and we are going to risk more than 20, like 25, 30. So it's like 1-to-1. So that's why I'm not watching this level yet. Of course, it could happen that the number is going to be weak. We are going to hit just 38, 35 and go straight to the downside, breaking down the support level. Of course, it could happen. But the support is not broken. It holds. So 38 for me is the first target. So not good risk-reward ratio, so I'm not going to take it. And to be honest with you, yesterday I mentioned during one of my training that I don't want to be a buyer as of now. Let's see what's going to happen, what's going to be the number, and then maybe I will, if number is going to be okay. So for some intraday trade, maybe I will try to find good entry level to go long. But before the number, I wouldn't join the move to the upside. There is one more interesting thing. Yesterday we start from here, strong move toward the support. And look, guys, eventually the measure showing that my idea of looking at my idea of narrowing the zone, it makes sense based on this measure, right? So gap, we move down, right? After the gap, we move down. Nice fashion, some consolidation, and aggressive approach to the support. Okay. Now, that's the last distance. Now looks like we are trying to hunt some weak stops. So based on one of our strategy, right, we can make simple measure. So the aggressive move to the downside, we're calculating, putting it above the resistance, and looks like my idea of narrowing the selling zone makes sense. Okay. But guys, be careful. It's Wednesday. It was busy Tokyo session. There was some moves. It's going to be busy European and US session, and we can end up around 5 p.m. New York time, and then tomorrow and Friday it will be like no liquidity. So then the market makers will have their paradise, so they can hunt stops both sides, or they can create some nice move in one direction, because simply they don't need to use a lot of money when there is a low liquidity, so small portion of the capital, and they can push the prices in one direction. Okay? So be very careful, especially later today during the second part of the US session, and tomorrow and Friday. And I wouldn't be surprised that we are going to make a breakout, and we are going to try to close the gap, and finally we are going to reach our selling zone around 39.20. It easily could happen. So even if I'm going to decide to sell here, so I'm going to risk like 10-12 pips within this area. So from 38.52, if I'm going to risk 12, enough for me, it's going, I would be happy to get to take 36. So from 52, we don't have to fall down and test 38. It's enough for me, like 38.16, right? So to test, let's say, this zone here, all right? So I'm taking the resistance, so creating some demand, possible demand zone here. Selling area, sell off toward the demand zone, right? So in that case, I'm going to have my 3-to-1 ratio. It could be perfect setup. So just we have to be patient. Now British pound. During both trainings, I had discussion about the British pound. We are, no doubt about it, we are at very strong monthly resistance, weekly resistance. Now daily, we are trying to test yesterday high. We have some kind of the resistance here. Yesterday high and Thursday low, creating the resistance around 67.50. Okay, and we are awaiting the UK numbers later today. So, and definitely we found the support yesterday and plus 20 daily moving average. So that looks good. Based on early, we were looking to sell yesterday, as you remember. But based on this move, during one of my training, the pound closed above, then hold. Then we had the rejection, we were trying to get back into the channel, and now we can call it some kind of, that we have some kind of consolidation. Okay. but the truth is pound still looks good. Let's see what's going to happen around this area. 67.50. Okay. Next one. Canadian. I was waiting, or during one of my trainings, we were waiting to sell Canadian dollar within this area, supply zone. Another reason I was looking to sell was that this line. So we are going higher, higher, higher. We broke down the line, and you know my strategy that okay, we broke down this line almost in the middle of the nowhere. We still had some space toward the resistance. So I was waiting, when I saw the breakdown, I was waiting for move higher under the trend line toward the supply zone, to use this supply zone to go short toward 109.60. Okay. Unfortunately, yeah, we missed by a few pips. But please remember, we have Bank of Canada rate decision later today. But then we also created the buying plan. So based on this visible support and based till this very moment, using those 2 points, when we were here, it was still resistance, right? So from this point, we moved higher, clearing this supply. So the demand zone has been created around 109.30, and as the prices went lower without hitting the supply zone, we created the buying plan. So we were thinking about price, about the price moving down towards this visible support, clearing some stops and hitting the demand zone, and long not from here, but long from here. Okay. And looks like both levels are still valid. So I would like to see what's going to happen after the Bank of Canada rate decision. So we have 5 minutes, and Europe will start. On this Aussie here, left upper corner here, we have this channel, but we also have visible support, and we have rejection here, so we could see some pullback, and possible continuation to the upper line. And I'm watching here the Aussie yen as well. And dollar yen. It could happen that we are going to see, of course we have some small demand below 102 and then demand around 101.60. But it could be, looks for me, we are trying to consolidate and above the visible resistance, right? So we can consolidate above and we can try to push higher. Dollar yen. That's the Tokyo range. So quite wide. We had visible resistance here as well, and we consolidated under the resistance during first part of the Tokyo session. Then we shook to the upside, right? Broke out. So yeah, that's possible consolidation here with continuation. But this could be, right? If there was a move number 1, consolidation as some kind of the wave 2, up, consolidation up, number 3, consolidation number 4, and eventually up number 5. But I would be very careful because this, if we will go straight from this consolidation up, so I would be careful around 102.50, 102.70. So if I'm right, we shouldn't go lower than 102.07, so below the low of this hour when we made the breakout. Let's call it breakout candle, whatever. And the low is 102.08. So if we are correct that that's consolidation only and we will continue to the upside, so anything closer to 102.15, because looks guys, it's okay, here from the upside doesn't look good, but last 3 hours, low, higher low, and even now, 1 minute left, 10 seconds left, we have higher low. So simply from here, start of the European session, and we can see continuation to the upside. And below, let's say 102.08, but it could be the stop hunting point, so maybe 102.02 could be that we are wrong, but looks like we want to continue to the upside. Let's see. Okay, Europe is open. Europe is open. So let's see what's going to happen. DAX gapped up. So there is a chance that on the beginning of the session the bears will try to close the gap. So some pullback possible. So let's try to summarize some things. Looks like we want to use the upper line here as a resistance. I thought that we are going to see one pullback and move higher, but looks like we want to go lower from here. But this V formation, it's not saying sell. On the other hand, there is a channel, and now we are aggressively selling off. Let's see what's going to happen. I'm not a fan of selling here. Based on daily, I would rather like to sell around 96.40. Aussie, we found the resistance. As I mentioned, I would rather wait before selling. I would rather wait for this supply zone, so slightly higher. So it could be that we are going to make small pullback, one more attack to clean the stops, to hit supply level, to hit third time the channel, and maybe then it could be good selling opportunity. And the truth is that some kind of mixing signals, right? Because I was thinking about buying Aussie and Aussie dollar on the breakout, like intraday trade, right? Then I would like to sell it around 96.40. And I would like to sell Aussie dollar, but higher within the supply zone. And looks like in that case, let's get back to pound Aussie, that we have a chance to go higher towards 180, so around 100 pips. It's some visible resistance. But it corresponds 180 is slightly higher than 20 daily moving average, but it corresponds it corresponds, guys, with this supply zone, right? I mentioned before. So we could hit that level and make another sell-off. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so Aussie, if buying, I would rather wait for demand zone around 90 to 80, somewhere here, right? Most probably it's not going to happen within the next hour or two. If selling, I would wait for some small stop hunting above Tokyo High towards the selling zone. So that's the Aussie. Okay. Let's take a look on Kiwi as well for a while. Here is the plan was good. Stop looks like stop was too tight. But be careful, guys. If we are going to see higher prices on DAX, on European indices, that could be some bounce. So definitely 1, 2, 3, some visible support. Okay, but definitely not demand zone. There was the last supply. Actually, we do have some demand, but it was tested once. So we can try to clear it and make a bounce. So I would rather try to sell Kiwi at this supply zone here. It was the weak inflation numbers, straight sell-off. So for sure, plenty of orders, unfilled orders left. We have the third attempt to the lower line here. So I would like to see some bounce toward the selling area, right? Euro yen depends on the data. Pound yen, pound dollar, euro yen, all these crosses. I'm waiting for the numbers. With euro dollar, please remember one more time, that's the selling zone. But as I mentioned yesterday, I would like to narrow the zone and take the upper part, higher part into the consideration, and it also corresponds with the simple measure with the aggressive move to support, support holds, resistance breaks, resistance has been broken, so we can easily go towards 38.50, right? So be careful with euro dollar selling here. Um, Pound, now pound is weakening slightly. If yen crosses intraday, so with tight stop I would go with dollar yen. Eventually I would like to take the breakout on Aussie yen with tight stop toward 96.40. With Kiwi, I wouldn't sell here, right? I would like to see the bounce as is a third attempt, so bounce from here, and third attempt like 1, 2, so we created the line, third, sell eventually. For USD Canadian dollar, both levels are still valid. So 110.20 and 109.30. And that's it, right? And that's it. So be very careful, guys. We are going to make an update if anything happens. Of course, with some kind of the breakout trades, it's not going to be possible to make the update. So watch them carefully, trade accordingly. As I mentioned, there is a possible bounce on DAX based on the yesterday close in US. So it could help both Aussie yen, Kiwi to make the bounce, Aussie yen to make the breakout towards 96.40. But again, with yen crosses, we are approaching good selling areas based on the higher time frames, right? So if you are trading breakout trade on Aussie yen based on 1 hour, so you have to remember about the selling supply zone based on the daily. So it's a very important thing. The same dollar yen. If we want to trade this Riley consolidation, or Riley consolidation, continuation, then we have to remember about 102.50, 70 and 103 supply zone, 102.50, 70 visible resistance on daily. So we always doing something on the lower time frame. We have to take a look what's going on the higher time frame, because higher time frame is going to be much more, will have more respect, right? So remember about this, guys. Trade accordingly, maybe smaller sizes as we are approaching Easter time. Guys, I'm going to take small dollar yen long position with stop, as I mentioned, below 102.08, let's say 102.06 offer, targeting. So I'm going to risk 15. To make to 70 is like 50. I will try to buy around 102.20, 102.06 offer is going to be my stop. Okay? And I'm going to target 102.50, 102.70. It's not that great ratio. It's 102.50 is 25, 30 pips. I'm going to risk 14, 15 with spread 16, so 2 to 1. 102.70 is going to be 3 to 1. Guys, try to buy. I'm going to try to buy below 102.20 with stop 102.06 offer side, targeting 102.50.70, right? We have supply zone, we have higher. We have visible resistance at 102.50.70, but supply zone we have around 103. So yeah, I will try to buy as low as possible, below 102.20 to have better risk-reward ratio, okay? Looks like there is a buying going on around 102.15 plus spread. It's 17.18 would be great, because then we have like 12 pips stop or 10 pips stop plus spread. So from 102.18 with 10 pips spread or 12, we need 36. So it's like 102.55. It's possible that we will go there. Okay. So try to buy. I'm going to try to buy below 102.20. So that's it from my side. Have a good day. Trade accordingly. Remember about possible lower liquidity later during the US session. We have live trading room tomorrow. Hopefully there will be some action, so we are going to have possibility to do something. Be careful, especially with this lower liquidity. Just to summarize, euro dollar, there is a selling zone. I'm waiting for the number. I'm trying to narrow the selling zone, right? So I'm going to watch 38.52. Dollar yen, I'm watching current level. I will try to buy below 102.20. Kiwi, the lower line most probably is going to be respect, so we can see some bounce towards the selling zone based on the which has been created based on the inflation numbers, because we moved down strongly, so we have for sure unfilled orders there. I wouldn't be a seller here because of the possible uptick from here. Aussie yen, I would go for breakout trade. Right? As I explained, with tight stop. Canadian, both numbers are still valid, 110.25, 109.30, and we have Bank of Canada rate decision. So that's it, right? Mostly that's it. And British pound with Australian dollar, that's possible eventually 180 as a double channel target. Okay, so let's see what's going to happen. Guys, thank you very much for your time. Wish you a pleasant day. Happy trading. See you again tomorrow. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.